Okay, so let's talk about careers. So let's say you're a baby boomer or you're a Gen X. Okay, if you're a Gen X, you're having a midlife crisis, which, nobody talks about these midlife crises. We just kind of I hate my job and I don't want to do this anymore.
Right.
If you're in that age group, share with us, why is personal brand important? Because you're in a career. You're not in a business. You're in a career. Why is personal branding important in that stage?
When you're at a stage in your career when you're in a senior position, you're and senior is not to imply. I don't mean corporate ladder senior. I mean you're talking about. If I look at it from a branding standpoint, from a holistic standpoint, you are a and this is not ageist. This is reality. Okay, this is reality. This is not ageist, but you have essentially become an elder in the community.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
That's a good one. An elder in the community.
So what do we want our elders to be, right? Our elders need to, they don't need to be anything. I can't say you need to do anything, right? But we look at elders with the ability to be mentoring. Mm-hmm. We want to look to them for information. They need to be knowledgeable. We want them to be knowledgeable. Mm-hmm. We want them to be people we can look up to. We want them to be stable. Yeah. And stability, not just in emotionally or with their ability to execute technical things. Mm-hmm. We look to them to be stable in how they exist, how they carry themselves. We look to these people for whether or not we realize it.
Yeah. So
okay.
It's all unconscious.
It's all unconscious, and it's very important that we understand that there's a direct correlation between performing as having your business perform, being a good leader in your business, and having a strong personal brand. Yeah. So if you are in that stage in life where you maybe you feel like it doesn't really matter if you're feeling the difference between I don't know what my next step is. Maybe it's I want to move up, I want to be the CEO, or I want to get another CEO job. I want to be hunted into, snatched up by another big company or a bigger company. I want to level up somehow. Yeah. You must have a strong personal presence and a strong personal brand in order to be a functional leader. Because the things that make up a strong personal brand are the things that leaders perform at doing, or it's what they do on a daily basis.
That's incredible. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So what have you seen as a trend in the transitioning people that relates to branding? So what do I mean by that? If like in 2008, there was a lot of people that were laid off, right?
Right.
So now we're talking about the ageist thing. There's a lot of people who are like, oh, a company's not going to hire me because now I'm 60.
Because you're 60 years old, whatever.
How does branding help with that?
Right. So here's
area?
The one big thing that is important, and I don't think it matters between if you're 60 or 20. Yeah. At this point, it's the same thing is true. There is a sea of sameness. Okay, and I'll tell you a horrible story about a tuna fish thing with that later. It was really
Well, just tell the story now.
No, actually,
no?
I don't think I can. Actually, I shouldn't do it. And I brought it up. Never mind. No. So anyway.
Sea of sameness.
Yeah, it's but basically you're in a stack, right? Like no matter if you're not only at an age possibly where you're worried about being hired, you might also be in a stack of people who also have college degrees, who also have experience. Yeah. Who also are trying to do the same thing you're doing, which is either transitioning a career, maybe moving to a different one parallel, or trying to level up somehow. You need to differentiate with some uniqueness. So what needs to happen is, on a personal branding level, we need to really find out what are the things that you've been doing in your career that are uniquely yours from your perspective. What perspective can you give that other people can't? And there is always something because no one is you.
Exactly. We all, your fingerprint is uniquely yours.
Yes.
But it's so interesting when we write resumes, we write all of this LinkedIn profiles. Mm-hmm. We all just want to be the same.
Right.
It's disgusting.
Disgusting.
Okay, so what reaction steps would you give to someone who's in that transitional stage?
Yeah.
And they're like, I didn't know that I needed personal branding. Like, what? Isn't that a millennial thing? Mm-hmm. Just 3 things. Would it be LinkedIn? Would it be, create a video about yourself?
I see.
What is it that you can tell me to do?
The first thing I would tell you to do is give me something of value that only you can give me. So tell me something about your journey through your career. Make a video, write it in a PDF. You know, even if it's even if it's just letterhead that you make in Microsoft Word or whatever word processor you use, and you save it to PDF and you put it on your website or you email it to me, whatever it is.
Dude, like I'm a baby boomer. What are you talking about? Website?
Right. So write me a story. Tell me the story of you. Tell me why you are who you are. Because what I guarantee you what'll happen, that's number one. And the second thing is do it in a way that I can consume it. You know, you're going to realize very quickly that that technology is not hard, that it's accessible. It doesn't need to look perfect every time.
Yeah.
You know, what's really important about what's happening now to transition into point 3, what's happening now is that content, to understand it, is not having PDFs to read, one sheets, magazines, videos, journal articles, posts. That's not content. Believe it or not, content is what those things say and do. Yeah. So as millennials, as younger than millennials, as people in the middle, the Gen Xers even, there's a trend now where we don't care necessarily what something looks like. We care what it does and says, especially if we know that there's some intelligence behind it that's going to grow. Yeah. We love especially to see things improve. So if we're intrigued by a good story and we can watch you improve and grow, you'll have us forever.
And I think, and not that we're doing this intergenerational conflict,
right?
But millennials are in a position of hiring now. We are decision makers.
And we have purchasing power.
And we have insane purchasing power. And I think what we haven't talked about is the Gen Xers think, you know, we'll be in power forever. And the baby boomers think we'll be in power. I think they are starting to understand, I need to start looking at LinkedIn.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And the Gen Xers are also starting like, what's going on with these millennials?
Yeah.
And if you are not engaging us in a way that we understand and appreciate, we're not going to hire you because you're going to waste my time.
So then maybe make the 3 points this.
Yeah.
Write a story, save it in a format you can share, put it on a, number 2, LinkedIn profile. Yeah. Put it in there. There's a place to upload files.
Correct.
I want to read your story. I want to see who you are with your picture. I want to read about how you've gotten to where you are, and make a really short video that does the same thing in your own in words that are more conversational. Yeah. And show it to me and put it on LinkedIn. It's not hard.
It's not hard. And I think it also allows you as a human being to be validated, to be seen.
Yes. And the process of going through telling your story in words, not on camera, not do that last. That's the last step. The first step is to write your story in words, because as you do it, it's self-empowering. You'll realize how great you can be and are, and there's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. If you're 70 years old, you can still be the best you can be. And you don't need to be jealous of millennials and go, oh, those bloody millennials.
Right.
So thank you so much for watching this video. Matt, can you please tell our viewers where they can find you and how you can help them with their personal brand at whatever stage of their career they are in? Absolutely.
You can find me online at orchestra.agency. It's orchestra spelled with TRE at the end, .agency, and also on LinkedIn at forward space. It's the new space, because we're forward thinking. / Matthew Kerner.
Thank you so much for watching this video. See you later. Bye-bye.